Good morning and thank you for joining me today. This is Scooter Pops. If you like this video, I hope you'll press the like button and the subscribe button, share it with your friends, and hit that notification bell so you'll know the next time that a new video posts. Today's video is a little bit different. I'm going to go over the 5 to 10 best practices for beginning and intermediate riders. Those things that you should do before you get on two wheels. So join me, won't you? As most of you know, I like to have a good, healthy, robust breakfast in the morning before I get on two wheels. And today is no different. Today I'm going to start out with my favorite, the breakfast burrito in a large flour tortilla. I fry up my eggs in virgin olive oil, but if I can't get that or just don't have enough left, I usually fry it in vegetable oil. Added to the eggs, I have to have either bacon, but I prefer maple breakfast sausage links. They are so delicious. And with that, of course, a breakfast burrito isn't the same without maybe 4 or 5 eggs and melted cheese between the eggs and the sausage or bacon. Now, if I'm still hungry at the end of the breakfast, which most likely I am, I add one of my favorites, a cup of grits. A friend of mine introduced me to grits in 1976 when living in North Carolina. Once in a while, I'm still a little bit hungry, so I go ahead and always try to keep a loaf of Italian sesame bread in the house. I'll cut a half a loaf, open it up, butter it heavily, and put it on the frying pan until the edges turn, well, kind of golden brown, maybe even a little bit darker. And then 2 or 3 cups of coffee in the morning, and that's my breakfast. Now, the most important part of the breakfast, I have to tell you, and I mentioned this in a previous video, is, of course, the seasonings. If I'm adding fried breakfast potatoes, I'll use garlic and onion powder, and if I have it available, fresh onions, fresh garlic, and fresh bell peppers, both green and red. But the most important of all of the seasonings, you got it, pepper and salt. You can't go without putting pepper and salt on a delicious, healthy burrito. So there you have it. That's Scooter Pop's favorite breakfast in the morning. Are you hungry yet? Well, nothing like a good, healthy, robust breakfast before a nice ride in Arizona, or pretty much anywhere. Anyway, the next thing that I usually do to make sure that I have a safe ride is I check tire pressure. You can see I have an old school tire pressure gauge and something a little bit newer. It's obviously the rotary dial gauge, and the reason I keep both is because just in case one happens to fail along the way. Now, on the bike itself, BMW provides probably one of the best instrument panels I've ever seen. On that instrument panel, they provide on the left the tire pressure gauge for the front, and on the right, that's the pressure for the rear tire. Now on page 134 of this awesome manual that BMW has provided for all of us, shows tire pressure. And the front tire, BMW recommends on the C650 GT 36 pounds per square inch when cold. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. On the rear, BMW recommends 40 pounds per square inch when cold. When cold basically means when the bike is cold, when the tires are cold, when they haven't been run for a while, when you haven't run around the block with them, and then tested the tire pressure. It doesn't mean when you're sitting there going, it's 40 in Arizona and I'm freezing. That's not what that means. When cold means when the tires are cold, so you can check them accurately. Now, the 36 pounds per square inch in the front tire and the 40 pounds per square inch in the back tire actually is just a recommendation. I have been in a situation when riding when I've seen both tire pressures flash on the instrument panel, and I get the red alert on the instrument panel. That basically means pull over, dum-dum. You need to check the tire pressure and make sure you add air to the tires. I laugh at that, but I mean, that's the day I should have checked the tire pressure before I even got on the bike, and I didn't do that. So my bad. Anyway, the second thing you probably need to do is to make sure that the oil pressure is right. Now, I gotta be honest with you. I get my oil changed regularly on the maintenance schedule that BMW has provided, and that is about 3,000 to 4,000 miles. I get it done at the dealer, synthetic oil, new oil filter. So I go by the gauge on the bike. If it says okay, I'm good with that. But if I get the little oil can up on the top, or I get the alert and it starts flashing, I mean, that is just not a good sign. That's something that I probably should have checked before I got on the bike. But, like I said, for me, I go ahead and get the oil changed every 3,000 to 4,000 miles. And when it says okay, when I make a stop and the bike is level, that means my oil pressure is good. So I do rely on that. And that takes us to our next step. One of the most important things, at least for me, is head protection. Now, I did have a tongue-in-cheek video a few weeks ago on head protection and how important it is. But if you'll notice at the end of that video, I did share with you that I wear a DOT-approved helmet. And this is the helmet that I showed you. My GoPro attachment on the front. I have a face shield on there. It is DOT approved. The DOT insignia is on the back. And one thing that you want to make sure with your helmet is to make sure that the facial shield right here has no scratches if you can help it. If it has a lot of scratches, it's probably time to change either the face shield or the entire helmet. Make sure it's clean of dust and dirt and grime and all kinds of mud, whatever the case may be, because that would impede your vision while riding at, well, say 65, 70, 80 miles per hour. And some of you actually do a little bit more than that, but I'm not going to go there, okay? Anyway, helmets are important. Like I told you in the other video, a friend of mine told me, how much is your head worth? Now, I've got to be honest, I've been down. At that time, had I not had my helmet on, I would have had a broken jaw, and I may not have made it through that accident. So helmets, to me, are a lifesaver. Well, last and certainly not least is attitude or frame of mind. Make sure that you have a good attitude before you get on that bike and ride. If you woke up like Scooter Pops this morning on the wrong side of the bed, maybe it's a good idea to just roll over for a couple of more hours and go back to sleep, or choose 4 wheels over 2 wheels. Or how about that cranky boss, or the argument that you just had with a spouse, a partner, or a close friend, or maybe even one of your children? It's best not to get on the bike until you relax. Go in another room like I do sometimes and just put on some cool music. Once you feel like you're ready to ride, then make the decision. Sometimes I get on 4 wheels and don't even ride on 2 wheels. Finally, let's take a look at the last tip that I have for you. If you're from California, I have to tell you this. It is not legal to split traffic in Arizona. I'm not sure it's legal in any state, much less California. I don't really know, but I do know that in Arizona, splitting traffic is illegal. Also, you may not be aware of this, but riding side by side is not legal in Arizona. I know. I hear you all loud and clear. Law enforcement sometimes choose to ride side by side, but they are law enforcement, and I respect their decision to ride as they choose. They are there to protect and serve, and I'm thankful for all of the guys and gals that do go out and protect and serve. Finally, staggered riding. Practice staggered riding, whether on the freeway or surface streets, or as we call them back east, side streets. Staggered riding is if you're with a partner on a bike and you're both in the same lane, make sure one of you is to the left side of the lane and the other is to the right side of the lane, and keep the distance between you on the freeway to give you ample time if you need to slow down or stop during an emergency or rush hour traffic. That's extremely important. So thanks again. I hope you got a little bit more than a few laughs out of this video and some good tips on safe riding. God bless you all. Thank you for viewing. I hope that you'll like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Good day.